one side of my tape on my Walkman and I had Michael Jackson's Greatest Hits on the other. So when I got off the bus and I'd see some of the heads coming along, I'm thinking, geez, I better switch it over. So I'd always have Guns N' Roses. People go, what are you listening to? I go, yeah, Guns N' Roses, man. They're going, oh, yeah. But actually, I was just listening to "Then the Two of Us Need Luck No More."
Which, in fairness, there's a huge connection.
Between me and a rat?
No. Between Guns N' Roses and Michael Jackson.
Same parents, different timelines, and united by chaos. Strap on, strap in, for the not-so-Christian brothers.
How many people have cryptocurrency? Well, I suppose in this room there's 3 of us, so 2 of you have. I don't even have currency. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people, most men especially, have crypto.
No, they don't.
They do.
I don't think so. I think it's a very small amount of men have cryptocurrency.
Remember, I got the stats here. It's
Stats.
It's staggering.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to Google the stats. How many men in Ireland have cryptocurrency? While you're going to tell us.
You're the only person left on the planet who's using Google.
Well, what do you want me to do? I've got a phone in my hand.
Claude.
Claude.
Use Claude.
Are you recording, Terry?
Yes, I am.
We are recording.
All right, okay.
You make Claude sound like your hand servant.
It is.
Can Claude do physical stuff for you?
But if that happens, I might be getting divorced.
I'd say that'll be okay because you can't technically have you can have an affair with your AI, but it's not going to be like.
Yeah, I think look, if a
life.
robot came into our house and it started offering up kind of, sexual favors or whatever, I think my wife would be like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
One less job for me.
I remember looking at
hands are already full, dishwashing, and
I remember
As long as you don't forget to do the dishes, I don't give a fuck.
I remember having a few drinks one night and looking at Oofy going around the floor going, So Oofy's a robot Hoover.
Oh, that's in...
Was it winking at you?
Yeah, it was actually. But that's because the battery was going out. There was... What was somebody saying? It was great. No, I won't do that. It's too dirty. Cryptocurrency. Oh, sorry. I was Googling how many people have cryptocurrency in Ireland and name them.
So the interesting thing about crypto is, right, that one of the reasons why it's lost its shine...
Wow.
It's because young people are now just gambling on poly markets.
Yeah, now I find them very interesting, the poly markets. Yeah.
But the whole rationale behind crypto always was that it was going to, change finance and it was going to be, this big whiz bang thing, fantastic thing. But actually it just turns out people were just betting and gambling and trying to make a quick buck. And now you can do that on poly markets. Is the main one called poly market?
I think it is called Polymarket, yes. Yeah.
So what you have now is, and you'll find this if you have men or young men in your life, they're just gambling on everything, and the consequences are that we've seen crypto lose half of its value in the last 6 to 9 months, and the question is right now is it going to drop further, and it could actually drop down to levels that would really be catastrophic because. There's a certain point that crypto can't actually go all the way through the floor because there's a load of crypto that's just missing on computers that will never be recovered. So we don't really know we don't know if zero actually really exists anymore.
Is that like Nazi money in Swiss banks or loose change behind the settee?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's stuff that nobody will ever be able to know if it's there. So what we don't know is what does actual zero look like, because there is literally there's a famous case in the UK where a guy has tried to do a deal with the local council to get them to go to the tip site and dig the whole thing up because his computer's there and there's 10 million.
Yeah, I read about that. He's still looking for his money.
Yeah, and he said, "Look, I'll give you half," and they're going, "Oh, you're all right. We may never
half
find
of what?
it." Half of the value of the crypto.
No, I mean, but that's like a lot of lads just go half of what? Like, because as you said, the value could hit the floor. By the time they get it out, it could hit the floor.
Yeah.
How many men in Ireland have crypto? How many men in Ireland have cryptocurrency?
Oh, you've looked it up, have you?
Oh, of course I have, yeah.
I would say it's at least 50 to 60%.
Okay.
I'd say it's probably lower, but in the 30 to 40%.
1 in 10.
1 in 10.
I don't think so. I don't think that's accurate.
No.
Oh, so you're there. No wonder you guys aren't making that a crypto.
How are you an expert? Because you just Googled it.
On AI.
What's the
You're the
source?
one that says AI.
What's the source?
You're the one that says AI is always working. Suddenly now you just want to disagree with Claude and get rid of him and fire him because he gave you a bit of information that you don't like. This is the problem with AI. Sometimes AI is like your wife, right?
All right.
You love her till she actually starts telling you the truth. And when she starts telling you the absolute truth, then you're going, really?
Yeah, but you see, your Claude knows you as an old fella in a jumpsuit, right? Whereas what we're really interested in is, the level of men in a normalized age bracket. And when you drop it down to like 25 to 30, and then you go below 20, they all had it, but they've all disposed
No,
of
they
it.
didn't all have it. Not 100% of men had it. No, they didn't.
I think you'll find most young people play around with it.
Claude is, well, my
that's
son
crypto.
never played around with it.
Your son is not a young person.
No, when he
anymore.
was a young person.
That was a long time ago. He's in his 30s.
What are you talking about, 12-year-olds?
I'm talking about kids under 18, under 20. They use crypto a lot.
16% of young adults aged 18 to 35 hold cryptocurrency.
Did you see the breach in Zcash? Did you see the breach in Zcash that Claude discovered? And then that rocketed down from $600 to about $250, but it's already recovered 60%, because the developers have already fixed the issue. So it's still, crypto is still there. It's just the point of what really happens, because obviously these bills being passed in America.
Terry is a large holder of crypto and will be advocating for its long-term success.
You get really, really interested in cryptocurrency. I mean, you're the guy that doesn't like charging on horseback through a burning village, but yet you're willing to
In flip-flops.
flip-flop, but you're willing to put money into a currency that doesn't even really properly exist.
Well, what currency does exist?
Oh no, here we go. The
No,
vlog.
but that's a valid point, right? All currencies, unfortunately, have a
It's only the faith of the people that have
a
it.
value based on faith. But I think the difficulty that we see and the problem that you see with crypto and where there's been a movement out of this market is that so many people were just gambling. And now there's somewhere better, quicker, and faster to gamble on. And it's actually much easier to plug your AI into the poly market because you've got a huge array of possible areas to gamble. So all that we're seeing is people cashing out. But whether it's crypto or the financial markets in general, if you look at you were asking at the start, what's an IPO mean, right? So you've got SpaceX, Anthropic are both going to issue shares so that the general public can buy them. And Google yesterday said they're going to issue more shares because they want another 85 billion. So in total, the amount of capital that's going to be out into the market looking for a home is, just in the order of just shy of $1 trillion, right? And people who want to buy that stuff have to sell something else. That's the most amount of capital that's ever been available at any one specific time
To buy.
to buy. So if people suddenly
Is
believe
Jeff
that,
Bezos just not going to buy it?
well, so the belief is that Bezos is going to do the same. So now what's happening is all these companies are all going to realize, okay, there's going to be a load of cheap money. There's going to be a load of young people selling crypto, selling stocks, selling lots of things, maybe even selling houses to buy into these IPOs. So you'll now see probably Amazon, you'll probably see Meta coming out. So there's going to be this massive round where AI sucks up all the capital, right? But it's like the classic moment of a collapse of a bubble. So if you're using AI right now, you may not be using it in 6 months because if all the money goes and these companies go poof, it doesn't work. If you have a Claude account and you pay, I've got a business account and it costs me $100 a month. It costs them $5,000 to service my $100 a month account.
That's crazy.
So it costs them $5,000 to get 100 off me.
And
the
also,
business model doesn't work.
Isn't the big thing also with the AI, especially if you're doing AI videos and stuff, the amount of energy it's using
That's
is
what I mean. It's impossible.
yeah,
It's not
like there's
sustainable.
entire forests being destroyed, and somebody was saying that 3 videos that were created, the amount of money would actually take all of the water out of one reservoir for these crazy AI videos.
Yeah.
It's probably cheaper to make a proper movie using actors and cameras than it is to make it on AI.
Good man, Terry. Because Terry is a stunt man. He's looking for the work.
And the thing is, because the crypto's going down.
Yeah, because Terry's crypto bubble is bursting. Yeah.
Terry's pension is now burning himself. Terry, as the markets move down, do you move closer to set yourself on fire for the right price?
For the right money, yeah.
I don't even need to be paid a bonus.
And don't pay me that bonus in crypto.
But I think it's interesting though. Like if you think about that the whole idea is it's so expensive to run, and then so many people are now using crypto all the time. Like I use it all the time, or sorry, use AI in their business all the time. But maybe it's not sustainable. I mean, it probably eventually comes back. Like when the 2000 .com bubble collapsed, Amazon lost 95% of its value, right? So Microsoft lost about 95% of their value. So there's some companies that if this AI bubble happens will collapse or near collapse. And if you can figure out the right ones, you could become extraordinarily rich.
Play the poly markets and that.
Play the poly markets.
Yeah. They reckon that, what's the name of the Paddy Power company, the arm in
Flutter.
It's seen a huge decrease in profits.
Massively. It's Flutter may be over. Like all these gaming companies are all
the
finished.
same as it's the poly market. Well, also the licensing laws have changed in India, which was one of the biggest licensing areas. Now you're not allowed advertise any of those companies, but they say the poly markets. And the poly markets are somebody, I mean, what I understand of it is basically you can set up and bet when the battery on that camera is going to run out, and everyone can get involved in it, and you're just betting for or against. And it's just got to that stage, you know.
That's why it was very controversial that at the time of the Iran first attack by the Israelis, you could bet on whether or not the Ayatollah was going to get killed.
Yeah, it's on everything. Basically, all bets off.
All bets are off
and all bets on. Yeah.
So
there was another thing, right? Because people always ask you this, and there was a really interesting piece, and I think it was on Reddit or one of these, saying that one of the things people do now, because they're obsessed with reading and they're obsessed with book clubs, there's a real upturn on book clubs as well, and everyone's asking each other, what are you reading? And they say that close to, a bit like cryptocurrency, who's using it, close to 60% of people lie about what they're reading, because you're judged in what you read. So, like, they mightn't be reading anything, and they go, I just finished Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment. What a laugh. You're a great old crack. And people are going, well, so what was it about? Oh, there's my bus. So people are just generally lying. Used to be music years ago. Right. You know, people would ask you what band were you into, and you go, oh, yeah, I love the, Smashing Pumpkins, and, name 2 tracks. Oh, is that my bus?
I used to have a Guns N' Roses one side of my tape on my Walkman, and I had Michael Jackson's greatest hits on the other. So when I got off the bus and I'd see some of the heads coming along, I'm thinking, geez, I better switch it over. So I'd always have Guns N' Roses. People go, what are you listening to? I go, yeah, Guns N' Roses, man. They're going, oh, yeah. But actually, I was just listening to "And the Two of Us Need Luck No More."
Which, in fairness, there's a huge connection.
Between me and a rat?
No. Between Guns N' Roses and Michael Jackson.
Oh, because Slash was on Dirty Diana.
Dirty Diana, wasn't he? Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, he was the guitarist on Dirty Diana.
Just before we go back to reading,
because trivia for you there.
I think it's really interesting. Everybody's watching the Michael Jackson Netflix video.
I haven't watched it yet.
Okay, the Netflix documentary.
But I was in love with Michael Jackson as a child. And I would have liked him to be in love with me. But now, in hindsight, I was better off.
Potentially, he could have been in love with you. And potentially, with the way Terry looks, he could still be in love with you. Because you're in his age bracket. Because everybody's gone crazy about the movie, and now gone crazy about the actual documentary now, which is sort of everyone's just going, okay, yeah, he did it. That's it. It's, it's proof perfect at this stage, Have you watched it? Are you a Michael Jackson fan?
I'm still a non-believer that he did it.
You're a non-believer so why would he have paid all that money? And why was there like 30 people? Why are even the jury now going back on what they said? Have you watched the documentary?
No, I don't believe anything that anyone puts out there.
The only thing I like about all of this is it reminds me of what my favorite Michael Jackson joke of all time was. Yeah. No, it's okay.
This isn't going to be good.
I think it was Eddie Murphy or one of these said, for years, Michael Jackson thought Boys to Men was a home delivery service. I think that's great.
Oh, by the way, there's a Lifetime Achievement Award to Eddie Murphy on Netflix at the moment, which is quite good.
Is there?
Yeah.
All right, I must have a look
He's
at
a
that.
great comedian.
Very
Yeah.
great. I mean, I said to Luca, have you seen Trading Places? No. Have you seen Beverly Hills Cop? No. And I was like, oh, God, there's so many movies.
I know.
That
Trading
need to get
Places,
out.
that's probably one of the best Christmas movies of all time.
When he lifts him up and he's pretending to be a cripple with who's blind.
yeah.
I can see.
I can walk. See, I don't think you could have had Eddie Murphy without Richard Pryor.
Well, that's what he says. So he
does he
says
say
in
that?
he
this,
says
he
that.
says
okay.
Richard Pryor is the reason why he got Richard Pryor's Christmas album when he was a kid, and he went, "That's who I want to be."
Yeah. Richard Pryor was
Richard
legendary.
Pryor. One of my favorite movies is See No Evil,
See No Evil, Hear No Evil with your man, yeah.
with what's his
He
name?
used to do all the movies with him. Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
and they
See
and
No
they
Evil.
they have a scene where he says to him, "What's going on?" And it's a famous scene where he says, "Fuzzy Wuzzy was a woman." That's a great movie, and it was probably a great stunt movie as well because they had to drive the car blind,
Yes, that would have been
but he
great.
could see though. That was the trick.
The
Right?
the great scene is Richard Pryor when he comes into the shop run by Gene Wilder.
Yeah.
Because he's there for the job, but he can't see, and Gene Wilder
Can't
hear. So it's just they did Silver Streak as well
Oh,
together.
Silver
Silver
Streak!
Streak,
What
yeah.
a great movie.
Isn't that the one where they end up in prison? What's the prison one they done as well together? Stir Crazy.
Stir Crazy,
Stir
yeah.
Crazy.
God, they were great movies. Really, I
Yeah.
feel like writing them down and going, I want a weekend at Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should-
Classic.
Silver Streak was brilliant. Was it Richard Pryor kept being pushed off the train and you'd have to try and get back onto it? Great movies.
Don't
I know.
make comedy like they used to.
But
They
then
don't.
when you see the full story of Richard Pryor, like he was off his face
Yeah.
on drugs for so long. He's the one that went out and shot his car. Was it him?
Yeah, I think that was
Yeah.
yeah.
I think Eddie Murphy sort of shot his car, but the legendary one was Richard Pryor because it was going through a divorce, and I think his wife was looking for everything, and he said, "You're not going to get my car." He pulled out a gun and he went out and shot his car. I think that he was in a coma for. I must have been watching a documentary about it recently. He was legendary. Absolutely.
Richard Pryor was in a coma.
I think for a long time, and then he sort of came back out of it, and then I don't know. Definitely something I was watching a documentary recently about him. But I must watch the Eddie Murphy. So what are we reading? That's where we came with this.
Well, speaking of book clubs, my wife does a book club,
Yeah, I knew it.
and but they all read the same book. Is that not what book clubs do? They're all
Yes,
supposed to-
obviously. Yeah.
My wife's in a German book club.
Posh.
She is German. It's not like she's trying to show off that she can speak the language.
It's brilliant. I'd love to see some old farmer from Kerry. So what part of Germany are you from? I'm from Chile. It's a German book club. I thought I'd have a look at the Frauleins.
There's a few people in the book club who aren't German. but
Well, I'm
but
sure
they
there
speak
is. Why
German.
not?
Speak German.
Yeah.
But they speak German.
Yeah.
And is it only German books?
Yes.
So what are they reading this month?
I've no idea. It's
Okay.
in German.
Do you not speak any German?
Ein bitte.
A little.
And listen,
Yeah.
All right, is that it? Like you're married? How long are you married to Beatrice?
Yeah, but she lives in Ireland. I don't have to speak to her in German.
Can you,
I think
can
if
you
you-
introduce yourself in German?
Hello.
I mean, I think if you really loved her, you would have taken up the language. I mean, I was with Anne for how long, and I was fine with her language as well. Hey, Betchy.
All right, you know.
Yeah, we went from Belfast. Hey, no problem. I do a little bit of that. She always liked that. So, what are we reading?
So my wife is actually they're reading The Philosophy of Money.
Oh,
Yes, at the moment, at the present. Have you read that?
is that like a?
No.
Psychology of Money.
Yes,
sorry.
yeah. I gave that
Psychology.
book to my son as a Christmas present. That's one of the best books anybody could read if they want to try and figure out how to manage the world of money. And you don't need to be like managing it as in just how to be smart with money.
Yeah, it's a really good book. I'm not great with reading books, but I did actually listen to it on Spotify. And
Better
is
on
an
Audible,
excellent-
yeah. Or
it's
Spotify,
excellent.
whatever you.
Yeah,
It sounds a tough one for a book club. Is it not?
No,
are they not
no.
usually novels or
It's
stuff.
quite.
they do?
No, it's quite.
I've never been in a book club.
It's a book that is filled with stories and insights. It's nice. It's a nice book. It's not heavy reading.
He explains all the scenarios of how wealth works through a story. It's really nice. It's a good read.
I'm reading Patrick Radden Keefe. Great author. And it's called London Falling. Actually, he's an investigative journalist. So he wrote Empire of Pain. So he was the one that exposed the Oxycontin and all that, and that dynasty. And it's an amazing book. And then he wrote Say Nothing, which was, he got access to the Boston tapes that all the IRA lads agreed to sit and record, and they had to go into files and safes that could never be released till they died, right, these guys. But there was a court case in Belfast, and the judge said, no, we want those opened. So they had to be opened for this court case, and Patrick Radden Keefe got access to them. Fascinating. And then they made the TV series Say Nothing. So the one I'm reading now is called London Falling, and it's the story of this. Again, it's all true. It's investigative journalism. Like, it's unbelievable. It's this 19-year-old kid who fell off, well, who looked like suicide off Riverwalk Apartments just beside the M16 building and all that sort of stuff. And he seemed like a normal kid. And then they realized he'd been living the life of the son of an oligarch. He created an entire life that didn't exist, and he got involved in huge deals, and he was involved with Abramovich and the Chelsea football, some of the management and the board, and involved with some of the biggest drug dealers, Kazakhstan drug dealers in London. He got involved, right, but he just came from a normal family, and his parents didn't even know this was happening when he was going out during the day, and they didn't know any of this till they found his body, and then they went, oh my God, what happened to our son? And then they started, and then the cops covered the whole thing up. They didn't want to talk about it. And then they went to Patrick Radden Keefe. They happened to meet him one day going like, you want to hear this story about our son? This is just bizarre. And he's written this book called London Falling. It is fascinating. But it's fascinating, the detail that this man has, and about the London underworld and the money, the real money that's existing there, that just covers everything up. Especially the Russian oligarchs.
This young boy was just from a Russian immigrant family that lived in London.
No. He's a London bloke. He's a London kid. His parents lived in Maida Vale. He went to a public school, and he always had issues with his own identity. So he created this character, this Russian character. He said his mother was dead, and his father was a multi-billionaire oligarch, and he was inheriting all the money, and he had all these billions that he was looking for inheritance. And he was so convincing, and these guys never checked, that he got all the way to the top, to Roman Abramovich and everything, and got into deals with him.
Wow.
And there was never any money. There was nothing ever happened. And something, obviously, at the end, somebody tweaked something, and he knew too much. I haven't got the end of it, but it's never been revealed if you Google this guy's, was it murder or not. But there was a lot of crazy stuff going on.
Yeah.
But this lad, Patrick Radden Keefe, if you ever read him, his attention to detail is just unbelievable, and that's what makes the book so fascinating. But it's worth having a look at any of his stuff. Really, really good.
Did I ever tell you the story about when I met Roman Abramovich?
No.
I feel like I did this before on the podcast. No.
Was there a young kid around that you happened to push off over a balcony?
No, nobody died.
That'd be brilliant if you were actually in the book that I'm actually reading now.
But I seen a lot of guns.
Oh yeah.
So I was at the time I was involved in a business called around image rights. So you'd have like the image rights of football players, were being exploited, as you would call it, from a tax perspective, in a Guernsey entity, and I was involved in investing in that business. And I became an advisor to Arsenal Football Club, and I went to Arsenal Football Club's Christmas party. I was sitting beside these pop stars, sending photographs of them to my wife, going, "Who's that?" Too much to her entertainment.
Who were they?
I can't remember now.
Okay.
Yes, that's Beatrice. But see, they actually,
Elton,
Somebody.
Elton Jack.
but they got up on stage and
sang.
And
Okay.
sang. But there was only like, I don't know, 100 people in the room. Like, it was the Arsenal football team, and Arsene Wenger was the manager at the time. But afterwards, then I was. Do you remember Bellamy, the Wales and Liverpool player?
Craig Bellamy.
Craig Bellamy.
Yeah.
So I was at a meeting with him and his agent in London, and this would have been around 2010, I'd say. And I was involved with the PFA, and we were looking at tax structures and everything else for football clubs. And they knew we'd done a lot of work for Arsenal, and I got asked, there's another club interested, and we're wondering would you be able to go and see them? And I was literally sitting with Craig Bellamy and his agent in a very nice restaurant in London, and I went, yeah, sure. And they went, no, can you go there now because it's the CFO of this club is just finishing a meeting and you can see them. And I went, yeah, sure, okay. So we hopped in a car and we go there and we go to the name escapes me now, a beautiful part of London, and get out, and we're brought in through a side entrance of this place. And as I get out, I can see that the guy who's standing at the door bringing us in has got a gun. And then you go down these staircase into this side entrance of this beautiful building, and we walk past loads of people who are all carrying guns, which I found out actually at that stage, and I don't know if it's still the case now, but the Metropolitan Police used to turn a blind eye to people like Abramovich and the Saudis and all that.
Yeah.
Even though they're not supposed to carry weapons. So we get brought all the way through, and we brought into this room, and we're told to sit down. Now, I have to say, I'm shitting myself at this stage, because you've just seen like about 10 guys with guns, and we sit down, and we're waiting, and then this guy comes in, and he says, okay, in a minute, those doors there are going to open, and you're going to meet the person who you need to meet, and you're also going to see Mr. Abramovich. And when you see him, nobody is to make any sudden movement or stand up, because he'll have his close protection around him. So please don't move.
What if you had a twitch?
I mean, honestly, I was there with a colleague, and the two of us were in a sweat. And I went in anyway. Long story short, I had the meeting, got out, and my wife will still recount the story. Like, I literally rang her from a bar, drinking like a double whiskey, thinking, okay, I never want to have to go through that again.
So you didn't do business with them?
No.
No.
They wouldn't pay my fees.
Okay.
So I went back to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Won the Gunners.
I'd hate to be having to deal with getting paid an invoice. Actually, there is
That
one.
must have been the craziest thing to see that.
It was completely mental, yeah. And it was also, you also get to see that there's just a side of the world that's allowed to go on that we don't really get to interface with.
So a lot of this book covers that sort of area where he did an awful lot of investigation. And there's one particular character who is a multi-billionaire, but never pays a bill. Just doesn't pay anything. Like, he bought a very famous theatre, the Mermaid Theatre in London, and then just didn't do anything with it, and then stopped paying people and just didn't bother because he just didn't care. And that's how he kept his money. And everything he had was owned by another company or another company off, somewhere below. But this guy, and he's renowned. He bought a minefield. He had a special company up in Scotland. He had Margaret Thatcher appear in a photo shoot with him, showing that he was saving Scotland economically, and then just went, I'm not paying anything. And they'd send invoices.
The British and the English did that for hundreds of years
true,
before.
actually, yeah. And his son is involved in this particular book, but he's well known, Ahmed Akbra or something his name, but anyway, a billionaire, but just never, whatever business he got into, he'd buy a business and then would never pay the staff or whatever, clean it out, get all the money. They'd all look for the money, and he'd go, I'm not really bothered. I think that's why his name was Ahmed. I'm not really bothered, Yeah. Anyway, on that, that's another one. We never got to. We'll find out what Terry's reading.
I didn't tell you what I'm reading either.
You didn't. Let's keep that for Sunday.
That was just the reason why he came saying, I think we should do what people are reading is because you just wanted to tell us what you're reading.
I just think the book is fascinating.
It's very self-centered.
No,
you do love reading. You always have some form of book that you like reading.
I know. I'm always reading something. Yeah. Hey, we got a reader. Ooh. But I just think your man is really interesting. No. But there was a thing online. Seriously, on Reddit.
Maida Vale, to grow up in Maida Vale is a very nice part of London.
Yeah, on Reddit, saying that one of the big things now is you always ask, what are you reading? And most people lie about what they've just read. I don't know why they do that. Well, but we haven't.
Well, I need to try and find something that sounds remotely interesting.
You've got to Sunday. Please change your clothes. You've been wearing the same clothes for 3 weeks. Oh, technically so have I.
Well, it's easy though, because it's just that Velcro jumpsuit.
Yeah, I just leave it here.
Easy on, easy off.
I leave it here.
Actually, is that built into the chair? Do you climb into the chair from the back?
See you on Sunday in the same clothes. That was Not So Christian Brothers.